Huckleberry Finn.
I ask you, is this the face of a horse thief?
Yeah.
Wrong question.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Sunday at 2, 1 Central. A special delivery on Nickelodeon.
Have you heard? Nick Rocks is on for a special hour edition every Saturday and Sunday to really make your weekends rock. I want to rock! If you want to rock, then tune in to Nick Rocks. Saturday at 10, 9 Central. Sundays at 12:30, 11:30 Central. Everybody's rocking when Nick rocks. Turn it on, crank it up, and rock the house every weekend for an hour of the latest videos and the best music. Only on Nick Rocks. Video to go.
Due to circumstances beyond our control, the announcer will read the following announcement backwards. Please do not... Retsim... Lortnak, ha! Isal. Right knock or tot no nice valid. No, he don't like him. Steve Taw, wait, no.
High School. Coach, on a beautiful spring afternoon here at Lindenhurst. And Tom, these two clubs, of course, met once before. They come in with records that they'd like to improve on. Certainly Smithtown West 0-12, a young club moving up from League 3 to League 2. They've struggled, a lot of young players. And on the other hand, Lindenhurst, a record of 6-7 overall, 4-7 in league play. But the first time they met was quite a close game, 3-2. What do you expect today?
Well, the first game, 3-2, Barry, you're talking about a baseball score. One of the reasons is outstanding defenses, especially in the goal for Lindenhurst with Sal Lacrosse in there. He's one of the outstanding goalies in New York State, if not in the country. Smithtown West, as you mentioned, is a young team. They play his own defense, and that tends to keep the score down a lot of times.
Well, one of the guys for Smithtown West who has scored some goals this year is number 27, Chris Heide. He's a guy that we'll be featuring today, and certainly Smithtown West going to need a big game from him.
Right. Well, Barry, very seldom do we feature juniors, as you know, but in Smithtown West, their only two seniors are both on the defensive end of the field. Chris Heide's dad, who, by the way, Al, is the assistant coach of the team. He is an 11th grader. He's got 20 goals, 5 assists. He is their major ball handler and spends most of his time on the midfield, but occasionally he might come to attack.
John Veit, who is the son of the coach of this fine Smithtown West team, is also one of the key feeders on the club. He has 15 assists leading the way, and they've got a good defense and a young goaltender who has done a good job in Hans Shoemaker, and we'll be seeing him getting a lot of action, I'm sure, today. On the other hand, for Lindenhurst, a club with a little more balance, a senior-dominated club, and you talk about some of their outstanding players, you have to talk about Jim Kelly first of all.
Jim Kelly's an outstanding player and a good student, as attested by the fact that he'll be attending Cornell University next year. He's a 2-year starter on attack for Coach Frank Rossi's team. He has 19 assists to go with his 15 goals, and that 19 assists, Barry, represents over 50% of Lindenhurst's assists this season. He's also an outstanding rider and very good on loose balls.
Well, Lindenhurst's outstanding goaltender, Sal Lacrosse, the man, of course, who played on the Empire State team last year, so they've got a fine club, but they've had trouble scoring. They only give up about 4.5 goals a game, which is excellent in any league, and especially playing in tough League 2, where Walt Whitman is dominated this year. But on the other hand, they don't score much. They seem to be nervous. They take a lot of shots, but don't score.
Well, Barry, it's late in the season now. The stick work is as good as it's going to get. The first time they had trouble with Smithtown West zone, but Frank Rossi thinks he can do a little better against it today.
All right, so the stage is set for this afternoon's confrontation. Smithtown West and Lindenhurst coming up, and I'll be back to talk to both coaches in just a moment. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
This may come as a surprise to you, but money does grow on trees. It grows faster at Apple Bank branches all over town, in high-interest CDs, money market accounts, free checking accounts that pay interest. For all you need to help your money grow and grow and grow, visit any full-service Apple Bank branch. Who says money doesn't grow on trees? Apple Bank for Savings. We're good for you.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, where the advantages of a major university and a small college meet.
We're back here at Fieldside. Barry Landers with John Veit, the coach of Smithtown West. John, your first year coaching the varsity, but of course you go way back to starting the program as JV back in 1972-73. And I know it's been a struggle for you this year, 0-12, but you've been in a lot of close games, and the kids have never quit despite getting blown out a couple of times like your last game against Ward Melville. What's the approach? What's the attitude of the kids coming in today?
Well, our kids have a super attitude. There's no doubt about that. We have been in some close games. Prior to the Ward Melville game, we were 6-4 against Huntington and 7-6 against Hills East. And our kids are just hanging in there. We're very, very young.
Frank Rossi, of course, has a fine club. They played you 3-2. I guess it was a snowstorm that you played in the first time. Weather conditions are a lot better today. What's the key in beating this Lindenhurst experienced club?
Well, we have to definitely get the ball past our goalie. He's a super kid. He definitely was the factor in our last game against them. And Coach Rossi has a fine unit here. He's been playing every team very, very tough, and we expect a very tough game.
John, you're coaching your son who's a freshman. What's it like for you?
Well, there's pluses and minuses to coaching your own son. I think there's more pressure on him almost every time he walks on the field because he is my son. I look at him a little bit more differently than of the boys, but I think it's a positive thing. I've coached them now in the Three Village lacrosse program for 4 years, and I don't really see any big problem with John.
John Veit, the fine coach of Smithtown West, and to my right, Frank Rossi. Frank, you, like John, go back many years, 19 years. You started the program here at Lindenhurst some 19 years ago. Had an outstanding team in '71, another one in early the '80s. This year's club, you've won some big games, you've lost some games, but you come off a big win over Brentwood last time out 4-1. What do you look for today?
Well, we look for another tight ball game with Smithtown West. The first time we beat them 3-2. It was a very close defensive battle, and our inability to score this year has really kept us from blowing anybody out. And we luckily have a great goalie and a good defense, and we play them all down to the wire.
Okay. Frank, what's the key to the game today from your point of view?
Our key to the game today is to do a good job defensively and have a good job from our midfielders to move the ball up and down the field.
All right, both coaches generally like more of a transition game. They haven't been able to get too much of that this year. Interesting to see how the strategies work today. We'll be back, Tom Flatley and I, with the opening face-off in just a moment. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
I'm Barry Landers with Jerry McDougall, president of Apple Bank. Jerry, we're just delighted to have Apple Bank as a sponsor this year. Tell us what prompted your decision to join us.
Well, Barry, aside from the fact that I was born in Lynbrook, Apple Bank has 5 branches here on Long Island and is involved in each of the communities that we serve. We think Long Island's future is bright because of our youth, and we're proud to support them.
Apple Bank for Savings. We're working hard for you with 5 Long Island locations.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, where the advantages of a major university and a small college meet.
We're back here at Lindenhurst. Barry Landers and Tom Flatley on this beautiful day. And as you can see, our sponsor in the background, Apple Bank, delighted also to be here along with us. As the official, the only one official so far has shown up today, Norm Wiener, checks over the equipment. There you see the veteran, Mr. Wiener. And we're just about set to go here. As we mentioned, Smithtown West a record of 0-12 and Lindenhurst 6-8. Let's take a look at the goalies in this game, and they'll be coming up on the left. Sal Ocasio. Tom, a save percentage of over 70%. Empire State goalie last year. And Dave Hunshoemaker, who's had to face a lot of rubber heading his way this year, with Smithtown West giving up quite a few goals.
Well, certainly has. Dave is playing behind a very young team, and that's always going to happen. You're going to earn your pay. Sal Ocasio was an outstanding candidate for the Empire State team and won the goalie job hands down.
Smithtown West, Locasio 27 on the faceoff, but it's won, however, by number 38, Dave Luceri. And Luceri will come off now as Lindenhurst will set up. And Lindenhurst generally will run an offense of 1-3-2 and a 1-4 against the zone. Tom, maybe we could pick up early what they're running right now.
Right now they're in a 1-3-2, and Smithtown West had good pressure on the ball, Barry, when it went behind the goal. And expect them to change that from time to time today.
Remember, Smithtown West lost the first time 3-2. Number 1 is Jim Kelly as they swing it around. A little tough to pick up those gold numbers on this bright day, as they'll swing it out to Luceri, 38. Dave Luceri is not a scorer, 6', 95-pound junior. Swing it on the near side to Rick Senator. 17 goals for Senator, 21. That shot blocked by the defense as it bounces high in the air. It was Murphy, 22, who blocked it, but it's recovered by Lindenhurst. We were talking to the Smithtown West coach, who says one of their big problems is lack of possession. They've been on the defense just about 70–80% of the time this year.
Barry, that can sometimes happen with the zone. It packs you in and you don't get the fast break clears that you should. Also, he's playing with young ball players. Some only, most of them only one-year varsity players, and some of them just second-year players altogether.
Well, both clubs will play a possession type of attack. They have not scored much. Both teams averaging about 4 goals a game only. And now the big stick picked up there for Smithtown West as they try to clear it. As it goes to the near sideline, Kevin Murphy try to clear it. It'll go back over to Lindenhurst. So there'll be substitutions. Smithtown West at times will play 5 or 6 long sticks. And that's the way they've been playing it this year.
Right, Barry. They'll use pretty much a 6-man offensive unit and try to use their other midfielders or extra defensemen on the defensive end of the field.
D'Angelo, 36, will play it.
He's one of their key players, D'Angelo.
They had some nice movement, Barry, last time against the zone. They went to a 1-4-1, which they've just gone to right now. Then they pop people in and out off the crease.
This is Richie Tall, number 20, a fine player. He's a scorer, and he'll back it out. 11 goals, 1 assist. He had 2 goals against Brentwood and scored one of the 3 goals against Smithtown West. Now bouncing it off behind the net was 23. The lookout in front for 23. The shot blocked, but a flag will go down as Frank Village, who had 4 goals and 1 assist coming in, and a goal against Brentwood in his last game, got that shot off, number 23, but we had a penalty called by Norm Wiener, who was the sole official. Now we see both officials have shown up.
Right, Dan Paggio just made an appearance and threw a flag right away. I guess he didn't have time to warm up. But an alert play here by Kelly, getting the ball right back, and you just see a definite push with possession right there, and that's not a bad penalty, Barry. He destroyed his shot.
And Ritchie will serve the penalty. Steve Ritchie in the box for Smithtown West, number 6. Now, man up for Lindenhurst so far. They've only converted 18%. Their man down excellent, 91%. They've allowed only 9% goal scoring on their man down situation, but their man up has not been good, which kind of typifies a club averaging only 4.5 goals a game, or 4.
That's right, Barry. You have to get it over 25% to be respectable. They started at 3-3, have now cut a man behind with 1-3-2. Kelly will be the ball handler behind.
Kelly with 15 goals, their leading scorer. 15 goals, 19 assists. He dominates a lot of the action. As it'll go back behind to Kelly, he'll look to set it up. 1-minute penalty, of course. Time ticking down. No score early first quarter. Back it goes to Kelly. He'll try to make the pass. Nice defensive play as it was knocked away. We have a push called. And let's see, it'll stay in the hands of Lindenhurst.
Barry, this is what Coach Veit was a little bit afraid of when he talked about the possession. These technical fouls when the ball is loose, if it's on the ground, you should have a 50% chance. But when you commit a technical violation, as they have done twice now, it just turns the ball back over.
And as we mentioned, now Kelly will work it from behind. Don't see anybody serving that penalty.
It's up, Barry. It just came on. Just that push was called.
Kelly from behind, the lookout in front, knocked away as it could not be controlled.
That was his second good feed that could have been converted.
Kelly, an outstanding player, smart, goes to camps, works hard on his skills, good sticks. He's the open man, and now Smithtown West will cross midfield for the first time on the big stick as they carry across. They'll drop it on the far side. Argentera, 35, the sophomore starting on defense. And now as they come into the box, we get a whistle and a timeout call. So Smithtown West, John Veit, first-year varsity coach who played at Massapequa and then played football at the University of Tampa. We'll talk things over. And Tom, let's take a look at the Suffolk rankings. A lot of interesting developments this past week. As you can see, Ward Melville still undefeated. They come off big wins over Huntington and Smithtown East in recent games. St. Anthony's, Catholic League leader right now, 13-1. Whitman, 13-2. How about Islip, leading League 3, 15-0. And they were just beaten, however, by Rocky Point, their first loss of the season. And Smithtown East following up 9-4. There's Rocky Point, now 15-1 after that big upset just the other day. Hills West, Huntington, Compsawagan, Bayshore.
Well, Barry, they're going to seed the teams out in Suffolk this year for the playoffs. It's not going to be like a winner of a team gets an automatic top seed.
Power rating,
That's right. You could win your league and wind up with the 8th seed.
There's Frank Rossi, and he believes his team, if they win their remaining 3 games, will have a chance at a playoff spot. The best club here in Lindenhurst, 71. When they were league champs, went to the semifinals. Overall record for Frank Rossi of 150 and 170. Now let's see what Smithtown West will set up here, and we'll get a chance to identify their offense as they work from behind. And working it from behind now, Smithtown West.
They've gone right to a 1-4-1 with a little motion offense.
Glenn Sanchez, number 4, is their leading scorer. And number 18, Tom, we'll try to check that out. We don't have an 18 listed on our program. We'll try to find out who it is for Smithtown West. He is working from behind the cage. Glenn Sanchez, number 4. Now moving to that's John Veit, number 20, the freshman, who has played such an outstanding season. We'll try to check out who 18 is. Number 20 is John Veit as they move it in the crease. Scooping battle there. Loose ball. Locasio after it. And now he'll go back trying to look. One of the things about Locasio, he will range far from his goal.
The goalies tend to do that, Barry, more with experience.
That's rifled wide by Chris Heide, number 27.
And the fans will notice that Locasio did get back in time to be in possession. Should Heide's shot have been on the cage?
Well, his brother, Joe, the captain of the Adelphi team, a midfielder, and another brother, Tony, also played here. So there have been a lot of Locascio brothers that have played and starred here at Lindenhurst. But Sal, over 70% save ratio. He had 17 saves in that 4-1 win over Brentwood the other day.
That's awesome, Barry. But his brother, the captain of Adelphi, Joe, is an outstanding all-around player. Not a flashy scorer, but he plays tough defense and plays the whole game very, very well.
As we watch number 2, Locascio, he'll clear. He's really quick in the goal. Very good out of the cage. He'll double the ball oftentimes. When you have a goalie that can do that, it really helps the defense.
Something the other teams aren't used to seeing right there. They're a little impatient on the clear right there and threw it away. Smithtown West was sitting in a 6-man zone using very, very little pressure on them.
So Smithtown West will send in some new sticks. John Williams, number 30, checks into the ball game along with number 14, John Godsill.
You notice, Barry made a fans will notice that their 2 strongest offensive players, Heidi and Veit, pretty much are on the same side of the field. Nice save.
By Locascio. Look at him. Far range out to play it against Sanchez, number 4.
It's a good look on the clear, too. The pass was missed.
And now they come down the field. Looking to set it up. Lindenhurst will make substitution now in the midfield. And they'll work from behind. The look out in front, knocked away. We played about 5 minutes of this scoreless first quarter. Based on the previous game, this will be a low-scoring game, so every goal will count. As we watch Lindenhurst on the attack, D'Angelo moving back out to the top of the box.
Barry, they're running a motion offense against the zone made popular by Paul Doherty at Adelphi, where the one midi sweeps and the others rotate to change positions.
And that goes out of bounds. However, we do have
a loose ball push. I believe it'll go to Smithtown West here.
So West will make a bit of a substitution. Heidi, 27, will play the ball as he checks into the game. Clock stops with 4:47 to go. And back it'll go to Hans Shoemaker. Here's a kid who got very little playing time last year. Hans Shoemaker came into that very important playoff game against Smithtown East with a regular goalie, had a broken collarbone, and has done a good job despite the problems that Smithtown West has had. You know, Tom, when you move up a league from League 3 to 2, and basically it's the JV squad that Smithtown West had last year that the coach, John Veit, coach, it's like jumping from AA ball in baseball to the major leagues, because League 2 in Suffolk with the likes of Whitman and teams like that is awfully tough.
Barry, sometimes we tend to move teams up based on the performance of kids who've graduated.
Shoemaker with a good save. Hans Shoemaker with a good save off that last shot by Rich Toll, number 20 for Lindenhurst. And back comes Smithtown West. Remember, they're looking for their first win of the year, and they come off a 21-2 blowout against Ward Melville. But everybody's been blown out by Melville. Now Veit works from behind the cage. Good look out in front and a score. Jerry Mastalone, number 29.
It's the second goal of the season, Barry. You handled the ball real well in traffic.
So Jerry Mastalone, a 5'11", 180-pound sophomore, a running back on football with 15 touchdowns, shows his athletic ability off the good feed from behind by Veit.
Right, you see him right here. Now he's got plenty of time to feed. He's not being pressured, and that could cause trouble. He really gets a lot on the ball as it comes hard into the crease. Mastalone handled it very well. Locascio couldn't see the shot coming at all and had no chance.
All right, so it's 1-0 Smithtown West as they take the lead. Second goal of the year for Mastalone. And now Smithtown West with a 1-0 lead as Lindenhurst dominating the face-offs. They've got good face-off men in D'Angelo and Luceri.
Luceri's going to do most of it today because he's healthier, Barry, and he's done fine so far. He gets a real strong clamp on the ball.
He's 2-0 on the face-offs.
They have a man right open in front of in the zone there.
Indeed, right in the crease there, and they don't spot him. It's 27 who was open there. Tony Pinto, little 5'4" guy. He's tough to spot, but he's an excellent player without the ball. He really moves around, really cuts well.
There he is.
And he gets the shot off. Shoemaker makes the save. It hits the pipe. As a tough break that time for 21. Senator, he had the goalie at his mercy. The goalie was turned, Tom, and Senator's shot hit the pipe.
Well, he didn't realize how open he was. It was a fine move picking the ball up, as the fans will see here on the replay. Makes a good play. This is a save, I think, on the first one right here. Rebound's kicked out. He gets it, and it comes right off the pipe. He just checked a little from behind, but very fine play. But he had the whole net to shoot at and cut it a little too fine.
Hans Shoemaker lost sight of where that ball was as it lay there, and Senator got the shot off, but it hit the top of the pipe, a partial crossbar. Now Veit with it for Smithtown West, leading 1-0 after that last goal. And that goal will try to get you the time. Apparently, we'll have it checked out for you on that last goal by Mastalone in the time. As we watch Sanchez, their leading scorer, bounce one. Locascio made the save. And they'll try to break out Lindenhurst. Look at that effort by Smithtown West on that loose ground ball. Looks more like a rugby match right now.
There's too many people in a pile, Barry.
Yep. And West comes out with
There's
it.
interference right there. Smithtown West player didn't mean to, but he ran right into Lindenhurst player and picked him off illegally.
So we'll have an interference call, and that should give an opportunity for Lindenhurst to get fresh troops on, as they'll have a man-up situation.
No, I don't think it'll be a man up. It's just going to be a change of possession.
Just
Barry.
change of possession.
Barry,
Okay.
you see both teams are laid back by the midfield line in their rides, but you can't see it on the screen. But when Lindenhurst rides, their goalie and defensemen are very active. Right here, you can see them out and getting ready to clear the ball. But the Smithtown West defense is not really involved in the ride. They're playing man-to-man.
And an errant pass, but that loose ball going after it. Number 5, Rich Heapy, the defenseman. And finally played by number 12, Mike Heffernan, the 6'1" junior defenseman. He has trouble with that big stick, scooping it up. Pinto after it. And number 27 has got it, Pinto. He has it checked away. So possession difficult for both clubs. And we have a over the end line, apparently.
I think he stepped out of bounds as he was playing the ball, Barry.
So to go over to Kelly for Lindenhurst. Jim Kelly, 6-foot senior, who had a goal against Smithtown West the first time they played. 15 goals, 19 assists on the year, and he'll play it. He's the quarterback out there. He runs the show. Right now, Pinto playing behind. Not a good dodge of Pinto because he's not strong enough. Now working is Rich Tall, 20. The look in front. On Shoemaker had trouble controlling it, and a loose goal picked up, and a score for Tom Fitzsimmons, number 14. A guy we don't have very much on.
First goal of the year, Barry, according to their stats. It's just an opportune goal, same as the last time. A rebound left in front.
Second time Hans Shoemaker left that ball laying there, and you can't afford to do that against anybody.
Now you see the shot right here is sort of just trickles in. The defense breaks out of there before the goalie has possession. For some reason, that ball slowed down, Barry. The defenseman took off. The crease defenseman in particular has got to stay there and clean house in there.
So Tom Fitzsimmons ties the game. The time of that goal will be 8 minutes and 17 seconds. Tom Fitzsimmons ties the game at 1 apiece. And we'll have the face-off here. Luceri has won both of the face-offs so far. We've got 2 different methods, a clamp method and a flip technique underway with Heidi there. But again, the clamp works, and Lindenhurst controls.
Right, Heidi had good position, but he just was out-muscled by the strength in the legs of Luceri.
So now there's changes made. Lindenhurst with 1:20 to go holds the ball and looks to set it up as they made a change in midfield.
Well, they have a long stick up, Barry, on the wing on the face-offs to help, and they pull him out and put the short stick midfielder in.
Very slow.
They should make it here. They get a 2-on-1.
Yeah. And they bail. This is Brian Steiger, 22, lost possession. Picked up nicely by Senator, 21. Back behind to Pinto. The look out in front looking for Kelly. It was knocked away, but recovered by Lindenhurst. Oh, and a charge maybe. Let's see what the call will be on number 12. Mike Heffernan, the all-league football player, tight end, who was a surprise playing his first year of lacrosse. He'll make a mistake and recover, but he may be called for a penalty and will be
The
right
referees
there.
are looking for each other. I'd say it's 1 minute from the rear or a cross check. We'll see what they decide, but right here, no angle whatsoever. When you take them between your gloves, that's a cross check. It's also from the rear.
No, the officials make the call. There it is, Tom. There's the call. It'll be a 1-minute penalty.
I don't know. The way he was explaining, he might have called something else. He drew that finger across his neck, which might indicate a little more than that.
Well, Smithtown West will be down a man. They killed off 1 penalty earlier. As we mentioned, Lindenhurst, man up, not good, 18% conversion rate. Now Ritchie comes into the ball game defensively for Smithtown West in their man down situation as they play 6 against 5.
Barry, right now the clock is on the field. They'll go for it. They have 48 seconds to get the good shot off, but when you get down about the 5-second mark, they'll think about holding it to start with possession.
Village, 23, working in midfield, dropping it off to number 36, D'Angelo. Swing it on the far side to Pinto, who's playing outside on that left wing. Pinto gets it back again. He'll rifle it. Knocked away.
Hit one of the defensemen, Barry. He's down. The referee's stopping play, which is the alert thing to do.
That was Nick Argentera, number 35, the young man, just a sophomore, just up from the JV. Quite a competitor on the undefeated junior varsity football team. In fact, both coaches have been involved with the junior varsity football team. Smithtown West was undefeated in their junior varsity program, and Lindenhurst had a fine year. They were 6-2 and wound up winning the league.
See the shot right here, just didn't get out of the way in time. It was a good hard underhand crank from the outside. Smithtown West is very lean on total numbers on defense, yes. Barry, and this would be a severe blow.
Argentera, sophomore, they're very young, although their experience is a little bit on the defense because they've got a couple of people who've had some experience defensively, but basically a junior-dominated club, and sophomores sprinkled in with the freshman John Veit. You got to have growing pains, Tom, as you talked about moving up. I said it almost to the fact when you move up from like a League 3 to a League 2, it's like going from AA, and with your basically a junior varsity club with their first year of experience varsity level, it's tough enough alone bringing up a club from the JV, but then moving in to the likes, as we mentioned, of the Walt Whitmans and the Ward Melvilles and the Brentwoods and the teams like that. You're talking about big schools, much bigger in school population than these other schools.
Well, sometimes it's hard, Barry, because you have a small school like Manhasset in Nassau County's got a fine tradition, and they play other schools with small enrollments, but most of Manhasset's good athletes are on the lacrosse field.
All right, a look at the crowd here. We'll take a look at the Long Island poll. Right now, Ward Melville sitting up there, number 1. Garden City with its first loss of the year.
That's right, Barry.
That was that Levittown division game that unfortunately we weren't able to bring you because it was originally postponed.
The field was a swamp the day that we wanted to televise it.
We hope that we'll possibly get Garden City. Later on, you see Farmingdale, St. Anthony's, Hempstead.
Hempstead, Barry, got knocked off by East Meadow this week, 10-5, and they'll drop down. Whitman, Sewanaka, that's wrong, Barry. We are 12-3. We lost tight win a division and 2 to Garden City. Bethpage has just about clinched their league by beating Wantar earlier this week. And then, of course, Islip, formerly undefeated out east, and Smithtown East.
All righty, these rankings, by the way, for you folks at home, are as of the 5th of May. So, although there have been games played after that, the numbers as far as the records are concerned and the rankings are considered as of the 5th of May. Polls come out every Sunday, as you folks may know. Speaking of polls, Tom, what's the latest on the college ranking, and what's been happening, of course, with the playoffs starting soon?
Well, Syracuse buried Penn last week in an awesome display of 27 goals. Bids will be announced on Sunday. It'd be very, very interesting to see who they put first, Hopkins or Syracuse, but those two. Syracuse is playing a tough Massachusetts team tonight who knocked off Post on Tuesday. That sort of ended any hopes Post had, losing their last 2 games.
Well, Argentera apparently okay. You could see him on the sidelines, and we're happy to report that he's all right, but there has been a substitution defensively for Smithtown West.
I'd like to know why Smithtown West got the ball.
That's a good question.
It had to be loose or in Lindenhurst's possession when the referees blew the whistle.
Of course, Smithtown West has a man in the box. They did not get it in the box on that clearing attempt or possession.
The ball was in, Barry, but it wasn't in possession, and that's the rule.
And so the man remains in the box, and we're down to 10 seconds to go in this first quarter, tied at 1 apiece. Smithtown West and Lindenhurst looks like they'll just wait for the quarter to end and have possession to start the second quarter, and that'll do it. As the clock winds down, no seconds remain, and we're tied at the end of the first quarter. Lindenhurst and Smithtown West 1 apiece, and we'll be back with second quarter action in just a moment. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barry Landers with Jerry McDougall, president of Apple Bank. You know, Jerry, you and I share something more than just this basketball. We share our concern and interest in Long Island youth.
No question about it, Barry. We at Apple Bank feel very much a part of the Long Island community. And as such, we want to show our support for these young people who are not only the future of Long Island, but we think the future of our country.
Apple Bank for Savings with 5 Long Island locations in Manhasset, Syosset, East Massapequa, Greenlawn, and Smithtown. Member FDIC.
The spirit lives on with pride in the past and footsteps to the future.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country.
In these young people, America is celebrating a spirit that has contributed to the character of our nation for more than 75 years. This year, the Boy Scouts of America will celebrate their Diamond Jubilee. Be part of Scouting, because America is returning to the values Boy Scouts never left.
We're back at Lindenhurst. Barry Landers, Tom Flatley. Hope you're enjoying the action here in the Long Island Sports Network. Got a good one going here. Low scoring. 1-1 is the score. Lindenhurst jumped in front at 8:17 of the first quarter when Tom Fitzsimmons scored. Or actually, Smithtown West jumped in front when Jerry Mastalone scored at 5:59. Lindenhurst tied it on Tom Fitzsimmons' goal at 8:17. That's the way we remain, as we've got some time left on the penalty. I believe 1:12 left, so they called a 2-minute penalty, Tom, on that last penalty.
Yeah, I think one was for a slash and one was from a cross-check. You can also call, Barry, what they call an excessive slash for 2 minutes.
All right, this is Kelly working from behind to Pinto. Lindenhurst looking to take the lead here. Kelly, good look in front, and it was topped away.
Nice stop. Good opportunity. They're very patient. They've got the shot they wanted.
On Shoemaker with that save. Shoemaker has averaged 15 saves per game. They throw it away. Penalty, of course, still in effect. 35 seconds have elapsed here in this second quarter, as Lindenhurst will work it on the near side. 23 is Billage. Bringing out to the top. D'Angelo dropping it off. Shot hit the pipe. And Hans Shoemaker has a little trouble locating those rebounds where that ball is. That's about the third time he lost sight of the ball. But fortunately, Lindenhurst couldn't get it, and the flag goes down again.
We'll see what they call this one. Now, that one I would go with a push with possession. It's going to give them 2 men up.
Jerry Mastalone, number 29, is the man that will be called for the penalty. And here's the call. Let's take another look at it.
All right, you see it again. And ball's going to come out here outside of the box. Right there's possession, and no doubt, just straight from the back.
So Mastalone, who scored the first goal, the sophomore who scored 15 touchdowns on the junior varsity, very quick, natural athlete, but a weak stick. He's just learning the game, commits that foul. So they're down 2 men. It is 6 against 4, which is a very good opportunity to score here. There's got to be 2 men open, and that shot blocked in front, taken from a little far outside. 1 man has returned. I believe it's now 6 against 5.
That's right, Barry. Attempt to cheap clear here.
So Smithtown West trying to get away with it there. Veit after it, number 20 on the far side. Two Lindenhurst players collide there with hits.
They got one of the Smithtown West players right in the middle of that, and the referee's going to call it a penalty.
That Smithtown West player was right in the middle, and let's take a look at it again.
The call was an illegal body check. And you see it come in right here, and you'll see the hand go up right here, making contact with the helmet with his forearm, Barry, and his shoulder, and that's no good anymore.
Well, the freshman Veit got it right squarely on the numbers, so both clubs now with a man in the box. So it's at even strength.
It'll be even now. We get a release. So we'll have a man up Smithtown the first time.
So they got it in the box, and they'll call timeout. John Veit will talk it over. His club very much in the game after losing 21-2 against Ward Melville in their last game out. They had a key injury early in the year, Tom, and that really has hurt them offensively. Kenny Duffy, who would have been an all-league performer perhaps as he was last year, midfield attack. He was a senior. He's been out all year with a broken collarbone.
Right, I saw him play, Barry, against Smithtown East in the playoffs last year, and he did an outstanding job.
Let's join Lindenhurst Huddle and Frank Rossi.
Right. Okay. All right, let's keep our heads. Okay, let's see, identify what's going on. First of all. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
He's just telling the first thing you should do when you're a man down is recognize the formation the other team is in, and then you can usually try to figure out what they're going to do from it.
Well, Frank, we talked about Smithtown West and John Veit having an interesting situation with his son, of course, John Veit Jr. playing for him. How about Frank Rossi, Tom? He has a son, of course, who's an outstanding all-county goalie last year at Walt Whitman, who's now at Ohio State. 2 years in a row playing for Whitman. He beat his dad, and that's got to be some feeling when you go home.
It certainly does, Barry. That's happened many times. Alan Lowe right now has a son playing for Mineola. Bill Rich used to have his sons play for Huntington, used to play against him.
It is an interesting scene. All right, man-up situation for Smithtown West. They try to cash in on the opportunity. Locascio got down low, and watch his ability to clear now.
I don't think you want to take shots against Locascio like that without a screen. He can run around that circle, Barry, all he wants because they're a man down. They can't be called for stalling when they're a man down.
Now Smithtown West will drop back so they can't pressure him. Of course, he could stay around there. Boring starts chanting some of the crowd here. But Locascio does the smart thing. He'll hold the ball. 7:45 to go. They've got a man in the box still.
Just came out.
Just came out.
Right. Locascio's bringing it up.
So he'll drop it off to Rich Tall, number 20, down the near sideline. Gets a hard hit, lost the ball as they play on. No penalty.
There's Chris Hyde, got the nice hit in there before.
And after it is Sanchez, number 4 for Smithtown West. He goes down. And let's see what the call will be.
Push.
It'll be against Lindy, so a push. And Smithtown West gets possession.
Barry, that's strictly referee's judgment, whether it's a push or from the rear. They've been told to call it tighter this year, and when in doubt, give the 1-minute penalty.
First period statistics, Lindy had 6 shots, and Smithtown West had 3. 4 saves for the Smithtown goalkeeper, and 2 for the Lindenhurst goalkeeper. Sanchez over to Veit, number 20, big 6-foot freshman. Back behind, working. Federn is now number 18, so that's the player we didn't have for you before. Sanchez, the look in front, scooped up and batted around. Back out it'll come. And the big stick of Lindenhurst picks it up. Nice play there. And Lindenhurst will bring it across, looking to set up on one of the few transitions we've had here. Pinto throws it away, looking for Kelly, and it'll go out of bounds. And Smithtown West will get the ball back. Both teams at full strength. 6:48 to go, and we're tied at 1-1 here in our Suffolk County game. Don't forget, we've got some great lacrosse coming up, Tom. I know we're looking forward to it. The Nassau and Suffolk County Championships at Hofstra. That'll be coming up on the 28th of May. The 24th of May will be the semifinals at Hofstra. And maybe we'll get a chance a little bit later on during a timeout. We can get your picks of who might be there. Because we've had some interesting developments with Levittown Division knocking off previously unbeaten Garden City. And, of course, Hempstead losing.
Well, 18 games is a long season, Barry, and a lot of teams were struggling earlier, getting better.
Now let's see what the call will be here, Tom.
I think he's upset about the number of people in the box, number 1, waiting to sub on the fly. Too many coaches are taking advantage of it by subbing on the fly illegally.
Frank Rossi's counting numbers now, too. And let's see what the call will be here. He's upset. He's definitely upset now. He's after the official right there.
And most of the officials won't watch the box, Barry. And he just might have caught one of the Lindenhurst guys stepping on before the man was completely out.
So Smithtown West will get possession here. Chris Heidi will play it. Number 27 is Al. His dad, Al, is an assistant coach. So both John Veit and Al Heidi have their sons playing for him. And slash Lindenhurst a little too aggressive, and they're getting called for it. This one, I believe, will go against Andy Cerrito, number 40. 5'7" senior defensive midfielder, varsity soccer player.
Yeah, I don't know. It could have gone on Cerrito or it might have gone on Billich, Barry, but they swung awful hard for the stick, didn't catch it, and I believe he caught the ribs, and it's going to give Smithtown West their second opportunity. And Barry, they've seemed a little bit up since they killed off that 2-minute penalty before.
Well, that was a big penalty to kill off, and that's been a problem for Lindenhurst, unable to really score. Well, they have some talent offensively. Federn over to Heidi. 13 is Rich Loria. Near side to Sanchez, their leading scorer. Veit will play from behind. Sanchez comes up with it.
Lindenhurst is not putting on much pressure, Barry. Token pressure.
Now Veit from behind. Nobody cutting to that cage. Shot hits the outside of the post, taken by Heidi. And they have backers support. So Federn will play it. Penalty still in effect. 5:51 to go. Second quarter. Smithtown West, the Blue Knights, and the Lindenhurst Bulldogs tied at 1 apiece in this League 2 showdown. Both clubs trying to get some respectability with a victory today. Smithtown West looking for its first win of the year. Federn back behind to Sanchez. High lob out for Heidi, and as he wound up to take the shot, the ball just fell away. Heidi scoops it back up. Back into the box he'll come. He has a man open in front. Sanchez couldn't get the control of the ball.
Now
and
threw
look
the
at
pass at his ankles, Barry, and Lacasio came right out and picked it up. You'll notice the difference between the goalies and their activity.
And
nice
the
look.
penalty is over now. Both teams at full strength. Lindenhurst will bring it across midfield and will have a stoppage in play, and Lindenhurst will take time out. Well, both coaches, when they get possession, because possession means so much in such a low-scoring kind of game as we're having, calling timeouts because each possession seems to mean so much.
Yes, Barry, it's also a little warmer than most games. Dusty down there, it's dry. The field's got nice grass on it, but it is dusty out in the center of the field, and both teams really have limited offensive players in numbers, and they're taking their timeouts to get them rested.
Let's join John Veit in that Smithtown West huddle.
Either you or Christopher Open on an extra man. All right, and wind up and get a good shot on this kid. All right, come on, Brooks.
He's got to be pleased, Barry, with the way they're playing right now.
Well, I would think so. They're hanging right tough after giving up 21 goals the first time out earlier this week against a very tough Ward Melville team. Tom, quickly, Nassau County with the upsets this week. it might be a little more difficult to handicap than we would have thought 2 weeks ago.
Well, one of my picks right now in the semifinals, Farmingdale, Manhasset, Garden City, Levittown division.
All right, Tom Flatley with his picks. And how about your Sewanaka club, Tom, since last we talked?
Well, we had a tough game with Garden City. It was 6-4, Barry. We played it very, very well. And we lost in overtime to Levittown division, who were two fine clubs.
Well, we want to remind you at halftime we'll be talking to Professor Michael Gavant from Adelphi University. And we've also got another interesting guest from Adelphi, the Director of Alumni Affairs. And we'll be chatting with her, Lucille Danaher. And Lucille comes from Lindenhurst, and in fact she was telling me that she taught one of the Locascio brothers, and he's the young man who's at Adelphi right now, and that's Joe Locascio, brother of goalie Sal Locascio. Good save by Hans Shoemaker, who hasn't been too busy. On the cheap clear, they throw it away.
Well, he's trying to hit number 29, breaking out there, Barry, but Maslon made a nice break, but I don't think Hans Shoemaker should have thrown it. A one-step lead calls for too accurate a pass.
Speaking of Adelphi, I know that Coach Paul Doherty, he's sitting with bated breath. Can't wait till Sunday when those he'll find out if Adelphi, after a couple of big wins lately, will have made the playoffs.
They played very well last week against Harvard, but he's got to go down and beat Princeton tomorrow.
That'll be a big game on Saturday. And good luck to Paul Doherty and his fine Adelphi Panther team. This is Kelly behind, the look in front. Oh, and Shoemaker got a piece of it as it was got off the stick of Senatori in front.
Kelly's very alert at picking up loose missed shots, Barry, and throwing them right back to the crease, which is an excellent habit to have.
Few transition opportunities for Smithtown West, and Sanchez down the near sideline. Behind to Veit, played against the big stick over there of Rich Heafy.
Coach Rossi thinks Heafy's capable of playing big-time lacrosse, Barry.
And another timeout by Smithtown West. So again, the strategy of Coach John Veit, when he gets possession, the last couple of times down, he has called timeout to set things up. Well, it's a very inexperienced Smithtown West team. Only one senior with any experience. As we mentioned earlier, they moved from League 3 to League 2. And speaking about the leagues, let's give some congratulations to League 3 Hills West, undefeated in league play. Northport, which dropped down from a higher league, is in the hunt there. League 4, Compsawag, we understand, has played very, very well this year, along with Harborfields. And in League 5, Rocky Point upset Islip the other day, handing them their first loss of the year. So they are playing exceptional lacrosse. And speaking of our upcoming games, as I mentioned earlier, we'll see the Nassau and Suffolk championships. And you got to think of Ward Melville, of course, as the key team, along with Smithtown East. They had a battle early this week. Pretty tough game again. Smithtown East gave Ward Melville.
Well, it's twice this year, Barry. You know, you play a team 3 times. A lot of people say it's hard to beat a tough team 3 times in a row. Over in Nassau County, you're going to have some fine games coming up early next week. You're going to have Manhasset, Cold Spring Harbor, I believe, Monday to settle their league. And on Tuesday, Lynbrook and Elmont will go at it.
So it's really winding down to some exciting lacrosse. And once again, we want to mention to you lacrosse fans, some great dates at Hofstra coming up. May 24th, a Friday night. If you get the kind of weather we're having today, it should be some kind of evening. It'll be the Nassau County semifinals. On the 28th, you'll, of course, see the games in the LISN. It'll be the Nassau and Suffolk finals at 6 and 8. Then on the 31st, it'll be the Long Island Championship game. Come on down, see some great lacrosse, and then watch it at home on the Long Island Sports Network. 3:40 to go. Second quarter tied at 1-1. Smithtown West, Federn working from behind.
Nice check. Nice check.
As he tried to get it to John Williams, it was knocked away. Federn recovers. Working against number 46, Dan Marr. Now Veit. This is Williams.
Converted defenseman, Barry, because they're short. He's one of the captains of the team. Moved from defense to midfield this week.
Now Lindenhurst, Locascio. He'll come up to midfield. He can see the whole field. He can do it all. And now Lindenhurst will use a timeout as they bring it across with exactly 3:07 to go here in this second quarter. So we've had a lot of stoppages of play here. And, of course, we'll let you know that the disclaimer, of course, has to be given to you folks. And as soon as we find it, we'll be happy to give it to you. But we don't have it handy right now.
Just, Barry, while you're looking for the disclaimer, on Club Lacrosse this weekend, North Hempstead will be playing Long Island Hofstra Club at Hofstra at 2 p.m. on Sunday. And that should settle the league championships. Of course, more than likely, both teams will meet again the next month in the playoffs.
So as they huddle on the sideline, we can tell you, of course, that we've got additionally coming up baseball, Tom Flatley. and you and I were chatting about Nassau County baseball because we'll be showing the National and American League Championship Series coming up. John Bauman, a colleague of yours, and there, as you can see, that'll be at May 18th over at New York Tech at 12 and 2. Hope to see you folks over there. Then the Southeast Regional, which will be the 2 Long Island clubs playing for the chance at the state tournament. And I understand that Valley Stream South, along with some of the other schools, are playing well. Levittown Division, Plain Edge, some of the fine baseball teams this year in Nassau.
Yeah, they are, Barry. Many teams are having good years, but big advantage is to win your league there, and then you have 2 losses. If you don't win your league, you only have 1 loss in the playoffs, and you're gone.
All right, let's see what John Veit has, Lindenhurst has designed here. Tied at 1-1.
Cutting off a high double pick right now, and breaking people to different areas against the zone. Got a good shot off, too.
Tall shot was blocked. They'll throw it back out. And this is Luceri, 38.
See if they run the same stack again.
Now they break it up, and on the fast break opportunity is Mastelon. Flag goes down, he bounces it wide. There's backer support with John Veit, and I believe the penalty will go against Lindenhurst.
Right. Number 27, Tony Pino, took a real big swing at the defenseman as he crossed the line. Now, Pino was on the defensive half, but the defenseman had already crossed the line, so the referee allows play to continue. And, you know, attackmen sometimes are upset when they lose the ball, and as soon as they start to take that big swing, Barry, the referee's already reaching for his flag.
There's John Veit, who played football at the University of Tampa out of Massapequa High School. It's pretty young for a guy who graduated in '57.
The easy life down in Tampa, I guess. Soft winters.
All right, Lindenhurst now defensively against the man-up situation for Smithtown West. This is Sanchez.
Barry, they have to go 1 minute for a good shot. It looks like they have a little problem over here. It looks like they don't have a lefty, where most teams put a lefty on the corner where Sanchez is.
That's a good point. Sanchez, right-handed shot.
Cuts the angle down.
Veit will play it over to Sanchez. We haven't got too many good chances on their man-up situations today. Federn.
They're running the same pattern they ran
back
last
to
time.
Veit and thrown away. And let's see, will it go out of bounds? Yes, it will. So Lindy will get the ball.
Well, Federn stopped in the middle of his cut just as Veit released the ball, Barry. It's like a receiver changing patterns in football, and sometimes the quarterback looks bad because it's not even close. But that was, you know, a miscommunication between the two of them is what happened.
We've had no scoring here in the second quarter. All the scoring in the first quarter. Jerry Mastelon at 5:59 for Smithtown. Lindenhurst, Tom Fitzsimmons at 8:17. Neither of them big scorers. And now Lindenhurst will take time out, and they'll talk things over as we're down to 1:47 to go here in this second quarter. And we invite you again to stay tuned at halftime for our interesting halftime guests from Adelphi University. And we hope that you've enjoyed our telecast throughout the year here in the Long Island Sports Network. And here's the coach of Lindenhurst, Frank Rossi.
What's left in the penalty? Huh? 18 seconds. Okay, Richie, you got the ball right there, right? Yeah. All right. Steiger, I want you over there on that side. Okay. Vinny D'Angelo, where are you? You are in the box. Understand? On the blow of the whistle, you release out of the box, and we're gonna sneak you on the field, okay? Understand? Rich? Got it? We should have a fast break. Got a 147 here, right? Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Barry, what he's setting up here is a fast break by running one man off the field, another man through the penalty box, looking for him coming out. Since they've made these penalty boxes 10 yards big this year, it's a lot easier to do. But I don't think it'll work. Smithtown West looks like they're backing, conceding the clear. And now Lindenhurst will have to get the ball in the box, and that'll end the extra man opportunity.
We're down to 1:47 to go, and Tall will play it. Now picking it up for Lindenhurst is Brian Steiger,
I'll tell you right
22.
now, is that Pino on the field? Or?
Well, that's Kelly down the far side. Pino is 27. I don't see him.
Pino, it looks like he's in the crease area, and he's the one who got the slash, and there's no way he should have been on the field, Barry.
Well, he is on the field.
Yeah,
right
he was
now.
on before the penalty was over, too.
Now they'll work it to the near side.
That's not the official's job, by the way, to look for that.
Rich Tall, number 20, will play it. And he's watched by Steve Ritchie, number 6.
Looks like they're clearing out the right side so we can sweep strong. They doubled well.
Argentina after the loose ball, but it's picked up.
It's going to be interference, I believe, right there. As he picked it up, his man maintained contact, didn't break it off.
So Smithtown West will get the ball back.
It's a needless turnover. Now, when you pick up the ball, you know, every kid says, well, what does the coach want me to yell go or ball for? Well, that's why. So your other man doesn't block.
Well, Tom, we want to remind the folks this copyrighted telecast is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of these pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cablevision is prohibited. Now, as we continue play, we're under a minute to go, 50 seconds to go. Down the far sideline is Smithtown West. John Williams coming into the box. He'll let the shot go. Locascio with that good stick easily plays it.
That shot was an insult to Lacascio's ability, but sometimes new middies converted from defensemen love to do that.
Good point, Tom. Down to 30 seconds to go. Hans Schumacher, who sometimes rattles when he is double-teamed and has the ball, throws it away. And Lindenhurst will get the ball back and a chance here, Tom, with 26 seconds to go. He wasn't really under that much pressure. He could have tried to clear it a little bit.
He had the man open, but he sort of just pushed the pass and it came out of the top of his stick.
That's the second time that he's thrown it away, trying to clear it on that same sideline. So now let's see what Lindenhurst can do. Final half minute of play. Here in the first half, tied at 1-1. Low-scoring game. First time they played these two clubs, it was 3-2. Lindenhurst winning. Now they'll work it to Kelly behind. Batted away. Mastelon, nice move. He's played well. 12 seconds to go. Ritchie couldn't get it. 8 seconds to go.
Right now is when you don't want to take a foul.
Give possession in the third quarter to the other team. 3 seconds to go. And I think we're going to have a technical violation call.
Well, he's pointing. He's giving a signal. He's slapping his ankle, which would mean it's some kind of illegal check, the way what he was given right there, a block below the knees. But I don't see any free clear coming up right here.
Well, we're down to 3 seconds.
He has. Smithtown West looks like they took a legal hit penalty right there. Lindenhurst will just hold the ball, Barry. And start off.
Bad penalty. And John Veit talking to Steve Ritchie over there. And that is hurts when you're not a good scoring club and you give the other team possession to start the third quarter. That'll do it. No scoring in the second quarter. We're all tied up at 1-1 as we go to halftime here at Lindenhurst High School. I'll be back with my halftime guests from Adelphi University coming up in a moment. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barry Landers with Jerry McDougall, president of Apple Bank. You know, Jerry, you and I share something more than just this basketball. We share our concern and interest in Long Island youth.
No question about it, Barry. We at Apple Bank feel very much a part of the Long Island community. And as such, we want to show our support for these young people who are not only the future of Long Island, but we think the future of our country.
Apple Bank for Savings with 5 Long Island locations in Manhasset, Syosset, East Massapequa, Greenlawn, and Smithtown. Member FDIC.
The spirit lives on with pride in the past and footsteps to the future.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country.
In these young people, America is celebrating a spirit that has contributed to the character of our nation for more than 75 years. This year, the Boy Scouts of America will celebrate their Diamond Jubilee. Be part of Scouting, because America is returning to the values Boy Scouts never left.
Back at Lindenhurst High School, Barry Landers, and nice to introduce my guest, a lovely young lady on a beautiful spring afternoon, Lucille Daniker. She's the Director of Alumni Affairs at the fine Adelphi University. And Lucille, first of all, tell us, what does your job encompass?
Well, as Director of Alumni Relations, one of the things that my office really does is offer a lot of services for our alums. We do have 45,000 alums in mostly located on Long Island and the 5 boroughs, but they're in 50 states and in 30 countries.
Adelphi certainly has been growing through the years. Of course, as a university would continue to grow, you have more and more alumni each year. And one of the alumni of Lindenhurst High School is a young man we mentioned during the course of the program that you taught, Joe Locaccio's brother.
Yes, I taught Joe public speaking, and not only is he a great athlete, he's a terrific scholar as well, and that's the kind of person we like to have at Adelphi.
Well, his brother is doing a fine job as the goalie today for Lindenhurst and the Empire State goalie. What's been happening at Adelphi? Why don't you bring us up to date throughout the course of this year? What are some of the new and exciting things that have been taking place?
Well, one of the things that's right on the horizon for us is that we are about to publish an alumni directory. And one thing that we'd like to let all of our alumni on Long Island know is that we'd like to include everyone in this directory. If you have not received mail from the university within 3 months, please contact the alumni office. We want to include everyone.
Now, Lucille, as far as the university is concerned, I know there have been some changes made. One of the most exciting areas is in the area of education.
Yes, indeed. Formerly, our Department of Education has become an institute, the Institute of Teaching and Education Studies.
Let's talk a little bit about alumni. What kind of services do you provide to the alumni, especially the ones on Long Island? Are there meetings regularly? How could people who would like to get involved, of course, as you mentioned, the new directory coming out, but what kind of functions do you perform during the year?
We have a very active alumni association. Besides social functions, we are about to open an alumni club in Manhattan based at a club on 42nd Street. And it will be a business luncheon club available for business meetings, board meetings, things of that nature.
Any new projects on the horizon?
Oh, yes, we have many new projects. One of the other things that we're doing is having an alumni academy of distinction. This is where anywhere between 5 and 10 prominent alumni are inducted into the Academy of Distinction each year.
I know you just had some kind of a ceremony recently.
Yes, we had that on Wednesday evening, and that was in conjunction with the Alumni Association honoring Dr. Timothy Costello, who will be retiring as president of Adelphi.
Lucille Daniker, our guest, Director of Alumni Relations at Adelphi University. And Lucille, we want to thank Adelphi for sponsoring these high school games. I know you're committed to excellence in the classroom as well as to the athletic field at Adelphi.
Thank you, Barry. We certainly are.
All right, I'll be back to chat with Professor Michael Gavant from Adelphi University, sociology professor. We'll be talking about fans, sports, and a lot more when we return. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barry Landers with Jerry McDougall, president of Apple Bank. You know, Jerry, you and I share something more than just this basketball. We share our concern and interest in Long Island youth.
No question about it, Barry. We at Apple Bank feel very much a part of the Long Island community. And as such, we want to show our support for these young people who are not only the future of Long Island, but we think the future of our country.
Apple Bank for Savings with 5 Long Island locations in Manhasset, Syosset, East Massapequa, Greenlawn, and Smithtown. Member FDIC.
The spirit lives on with pride in the past and footsteps to the future.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country.
In these young people, America is celebrating a spirit that has contributed to the character of our nation for more than 75 years. This year, the Boy Scouts of America will celebrate their Diamond Jubilee. Be part of Scouting, because America is returning to the values Boy Scouts never left.
International Tchaikovsky Competition finalist and Beethoven Foundation fellow Jonathan Shames for Kiwanis International.
It wasn't just the touch of my hands that prompted Tchaikovsky competition judges to choose me as a finalist in Moscow. Through sheer force of will and years of study, I was able to compete against the world's best pianists. You can help others less fortunate and build better lives for underprivileged children through voluntary involvement. Ask your local Kiwanis club how you can help.
Back at Lindenhurst High School, Barry Landers, and we're tied at 1-1 here in our lacrosse game between Smithtown West and Lindenhurst. And my guest, a familiar face to the Long Island Sports Network viewing audience, very interesting guy, assistant sociology professor at Adelphi University, Michael Gavant. Mike, we've had you on before. We've talked about fans and their loyalties. I know you attended the draft recently, the NFL football draft.
That's right.
What were some of your thoughts as the Giant and Jet fans watched in anticipation as their teams made their choices?
Well, the Jet fans made their comments known. As you know, the Jets picked a wide receiver, a guy named Al Toon from University of Wisconsin first, and the gallery started to sing Goodbye Wesley to the tune of Goodnight Ladies. It was a very interesting draft this year. One of the reasons that it was I found a lot of fans who live in New York who are fans of out-of-town teams.
That's interesting because I, as a youngster growing up, many years ago, I'm dating myself right now, was a St. Louis Brown fan, and then they became the Baltimore Orioles. I liked them because they were out of town, they were underdogs. Do you find a lot of people becoming fans of underdogs?
You find a lot of people becoming fans of teams out of town for very interesting kinds of reasons. I found an old Giants fan who was a fan of the Cleveland Rams. That is before they became the LA Rams, and they went to Cleveland. I'm sorry, went to LA. On the other hand, the first fellow I found at the draft about 7:30 in the morning was a New Yorker who was a fan of the Detroit Lions, and amongst other reasons, he had seen them a lot on Thanksgiving Day.
Mike Gavad, I know, of course, fans are your very interesting hobby. You teach courses at, of course, Adelphi University in sociology. What do you teach in terms of those of us who are interested in the fan sociology and perhaps students? What courses are available for the students at Adelphi to take that may be interested in sports and in the sociology of sports?
Well, there is a course in the sociology of sport in the sociology department. There's also a course that's taught in ABLE, which is for adult students. And in terms of what I do in those courses, at least as relates to fans, I talk about the degrees of fanship. That is, there are a lot of serious ways of being a fan and a lot of very different routes to becoming a fan. A lot of very different ways of growing up being a fan and becoming one.
Mike, you used your students to do a lot of field research. Tell us about some of the most interesting research they've done.
Well, last semester I had my students do a project where they had to interview some Islanders fans and see why it was people said that they were fans of the New York Islanders, and again, the routes that people took to becoming Islanders fans. Some of the more interesting ones were people who had been Islanders fans in the bad old days when the team came into existence in 1972 and were not world champions by any matter of means.
My guest has been Michael Gavant, professor of sociology at Adelphi University. Mike, you've had some very interesting comments throughout the course of the season. We hope to have you on next year and share some of your thoughts about fans as well then.
Okay, it's nice to be here.
All right, Tom Flatley and I'll be back with second half action. We're tied at 1-1. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
I'm Barry Landers with Jerry McDougall, president of Apple Bank. Jerry, we're just delighted to have Apple Bank as a sponsor this year. Tell us what prompted your decision to join us.
Well, Barry, aside from the fact that I was born in Lindenhurst, Apple Bank has 5 branches here on Long Island and is involved in each of the communities that we serve. We think Long Island's future is bright because of our youth, and we're proud to support them.
Apple Bank for Savings. We're working hard for you with 5 Long Island locations.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, where the advantages of a major university and a small college meet.
And just before we start the second half, Barry Landers and Tom Flatley, here's a look at the comparison stats. As you can see, we're tied at 1-1. Knights had 9 saves, Bulldogs 5. Bulldogs outshot them 12-6. Bulldogs won 4 face-offs. And those are the stats. The only 2 goals, Mastelon for Smithtown and Fitzsimmons for Lindy. What do you look for in the second half as they start a man-up Lindenhurst looking to break the tie here, Tom?
Well, Lindenhurst shooting 1 for 12. That's been the story of the game right now, Barry, why we're tied. Right now, remind the fans they're man up. Gunning a 1-4-1 offense right now, sneaking another man behind.
So Lindenhurst looking to break this tie. They come off a 4-1 win over Brentwood. They'll swing it outside. Here's the shot, fired wide, and that was D'Angelo, 36, who rifled it wide.
Well, they worked the ball very well, Barry, from an unusual set. They had 2 men behind, 2 wide on the crease, 1 on the crease, and D'Angelo out top, and they got the shot they wanted.
D'Angelo's oldest brother Tommy's at Georgia Tech, and another brother is a football player at Columbia, so they've had a very prominent family here, the D'Angelo family, like the Locascio family.
Now changed to a 1-4-1 with Pino up high on the crease.
This is D'Angelo. They'll work it behind. 21 is Senator, 1 is Kelly. Pinto, or check it. Oh, and Hans Shoemaker comes up with that good save on a high shot, looking to go on the far side. Now we have a flag on the play.
There was a slash there, Barry, on the face dodge where Pinto made the face dodge. He was caught in the face with a stick. Very nice save by the goalie there, Hans Shoemaker.
And we'll get another look at it coming up.
Here's your face dodge and your slash right there. Good shot right into his stick. Left-handed goalies, as we mentioned, sometimes can confuse teams who practice against right-hand goalies all the time.
Smithtown West 2 men up. Remember, they were 2 men up briefly earlier and unable to score, and their man-up situations have really hurt them today. They have unable to capitalize. Kelly, 6-on-4 situation here.
About another 5 seconds.
6-on-5. Ritchie is now back on. You'll see him, number 6, just check in there into the box. So now it's a one-man advantage. Kelly, the look in front. And a good check as the player lost the ball, and Hans Shoemaker with a long clear downfield looking for Veit, but Locascio comes up with it. They call him Loco. That's his nickname here, and the fans like to chant Loco, Loco when he's got the ball.
It fits a lot of goalies well, that nickname.
Here's Kelly, still a man up.
Barry, they've been very unsuccessful on their cheap clear attempts. You know, the attack has got to get more people swarming the ball to keep it down there to cut down on their opportunities.
Now they'll work it on the far side. 22 is Steiger, Brian Steiger with 2 goals. Senior midfielder, hard worker. Back to D'Angelo at the top. He'll take the left-handed shot wide, but there's backer help with Kelly back there. Still, I believe the penalty is over now. I don't see anybody in the box, so the penalty has expired. Let's count out their 6 blue shirts.
That's right. Game on.
So Smithtown West has done a superb job in their man-down situations. Man-down was only 70% effective coming in, which is just about average.
The law of averages is catching up with them, though, Barry. When you talk about averages, give them another opportunity and they'll probably score. Right now, there's some talk here. The timer's coming out, talking to the official.
There you see the timer. The official time is not on the scoreboard. It's being kept down there.
Some question whether it was over, but that penalty, he served a minute in the box.
So we're underway once again. Lindenhurst, Senatori. Rick Senator back behind, the look in front, knocked away. They've done a good job in front of the crease there, not allowing the Cutters to get the possession there.
They really jammed inside. Looks like they're not afraid of Lindenhurst outside shooting at all.
Yep, they packed it in inside. Now Kelly. Pinto, the lookout. Oh, and that shot taken by Rich Toll nearly snuck in. But Hans Shoemaker got a piece of it, again throws it away, looking for Mastelone.
It looks like he looks for Mastelone all the time, Barry. Some teams will use a set play like that where they always look to a certain spot and let the ball go. But he had a defenseman open on his left.
Well, that's the 3rd time he's thrown it away, and let's see if they'll burn him on that bad clear.
Just a matter of time the way the shots are going this period, Barry.
Now Toll goes into the crease as D'Angelo has trouble. He's triple teamed, but he continues to fight for the ball. Finally, Mastelone, 29, comes up with it. He's that fine football player. Doesn't have a good stick, but he's got all the athletic skills. And Tom, how long does it take for a good athlete, a kid who's an outstanding football player maybe, or a kid who's a good soccer player, a good basketball player, to learn the stick skills and be a good lacrosse player if he's got the other thing, the good wheels, the good court sense, the good field sense?
Yeah, it depends on how hard he works, Barry. If he gets against a handball wall and works with that stick every day, he'll have it down pretty well in 2 months. And over a summer.
Another hit from behind. Smithtown West. Mastelone a bit aggressive there, but there was no possession.
I think he's a little frustrated, Barry, by that poor pass he threw before. And, you know, a lot of times young players will make one mistake and come right back and try to make up for it and take 2.
So now we watch Pinto working against Mastelone. Pinto out in front. Oh, and the shot fired wide by Senator as he lost control as he took the shot. And Hans Shoemaker finally scoops it up in the crease.
They've had several good opportunities to score this period, Barry.
Well, we mentioned that Lindenhurst offensively has struggled all year. They've averaged 4 goals a game. They've had a lot of shots, but just don't seem to get the good shots on goal.
Nice pickup.
Pinto, that nice pickup. This is Kelly. First time they've had a break going. And Hans Shoemaker robs Senator. And on that rebound, they have trouble as the big sticks could not control it. And this is number 20, Toll, Richie Toll, who's 5'11". Number 20. He'll work now against Richie, number 6. Also defending Kevin Murphy, 22.
Well, he's the backer type, Barry, in the zone. It just came out on Toll that time. Nice look into the crease.
And again, as D'Angelo tried to get the shot, he was checked. They have done an excellent job on the crease attackman, whoever has moved in or as a cutter there, breaking up the shots before they've gotten to Hans Shoemaker. Now Argentero couldn't come up with it, so Lindy's got the ball. This is Kelly. Very dangerous man. And he's working now against number 12, Mike Heffernan. Dedicated super kid, first year of lacrosse for Heffernan. Now Senator. Knocked down. Mastelon around that ball, scooped it up, and we had a push against Lindenhurst without possession. So it'll just be possession going over to Smithtown West as they make changes. John Williams, number 30, along with Chris Heide, 27, check into the ball game. Smithtown West scored early. In case you're just tuning in, we're tied at 1-1. Jerry Mastelon with his second goal of the year at 5:59. And just about 2.5 minutes later, Lindenhurst, Tom Fitzsimmons at 8:17. So the big scorers have not scored in this game. We have not seen too much offense here today, Tom.
No, Barry, in this quarter, Smithtown West has not had the ball across the midfield line. There it is right now, and it's almost 5 minutes gone.
Heide there, leading scorer along with Sanchez.
It's 2 men on him. Somebody has to be open. They got it straight now. Lindenhurst picked up well.
Now John Veit, the freshman, with 15 assists, back behind a Federn. He has 4 goals, 8 assists, scored against Lindy earlier this year in that 3-2 loss. Sanchez, you can tell he's got the black cleats, everybody else wearing white.
He's been their major ball handler today, pretty much, Barry, to our surprise.
Yes, Sanchez, their leading scorer last year on the JV, has 12 goals this year. And Heide rifles it wide, but they had backer help, so Federn will play it. Sanchez, a good dodger. He can go left and right. 3 years with the coaches. Have many of these players. Of course, they played on the JV and freshman for John Veit and have moved up with the varsity as he did, replacing coach Jeff Snyder. This is Sanchez. Snyder, by the way, is coaching the JV club.
Get those 3 little kids. Let them go and get the ball.
Smithtown West coming off a big year last year. They were League 3 champs.
Nice pickup by Pino on a loose ball, Barry.
And he can run. He's got Kelly with him in the crease, but can't get it to him.
That's what we call a tough ground ball. The ones in the crowd. And
he's only 5'4", 135 pounds, Tom, and you're not going to find many smaller players than that around.
No, but I tell you, they do have certain advantages. Like, it's very hard to knock them off their stride. They have that low center of gravity.
Good
nice
point.
feed into the crease. Now, that pass in the crease should have been handled, Barry.
Yep, they mishandled some of those passes, and Smithtown West coming out with the ball. Number 30 was John Williams. Defensive player. He'll play both back on defense and midfield. He's playing with a short stick now, so he's a midfielder helping defensively.
Nice check. They're forcing passes again on the clear.
Sanchez after it on the far side. He has it checked away. Goes high in the air, out of bounds. However, it will be Smithtown West ball. 3:21 to go. Barry Landers and Tom Flatley here in the third quarter. And we hope you're enjoying the action. Smithtown West and Lindenhurst in a League 2 showdown. And we're tied at 1-1. Don't forget, a couple of weeks, the end of May, we'll have the Nassau and Suffolk Lacrosse Championships. And then the Long Island Championship coming your way. And for you baseball fans, it'll be the American and National League Championships from New York Tech. Heide's shot blocked. And again, Federn backing up.
That's one of Locassio's tougher saves of the day, Barry, right there. Good hard shot.
Locascio has not been pressed very much. He apparently will be going to the University of Massachusetts. And as you mentioned earlier, Tom, they have been playing some excellent lacrosse.
Well, Barry, they're upgrading their program. Unfortunately, they dropped some minor sports to do it, but they do have 14 lacrosse scholarships now, which is the NCAA maximum.
Ocasio made only 5 saves against Smithtown the first time they played. That's about wide. And it'll go out. John Veit, by the way, John Veit Jr. played in that 3 Village lacrosse program. A lot of the Smithtown boys to play in there. It's their neighboring school district, the 3 Village.
Barry, right now, Lindenhurst is double teaming the ball. Some teams will call it a red dog. They'll come from both sides.
There you see it.
Goalie's out, guarding the man to man.
And we have...
That's right. Work. They forced him out of bounds. They were very patient. They did it right.
So good defensive play. Gives the ball over to Lindenhurst. 2:48 to go for the Bulldogs as they try to get on the attack here in this 1-1 game.
Barry, when you have a goalie like Lacasio, he can come out and guard a man to man and do it very well.
That's a good point. It really helps both offensively and defensively as well. It's like, well, it's like having an extra defender or an extra attacker, really, in some cases.
That's right. He's got an attackman open where he threw that ball to.
All right, this is Senator. Dropping it back. Loria.
It's tough to dodge the zone.
D'Angelo. And let's see, are they going to rule that? They rule it a shot.
Oh, yeah, he was. He just got checked as he was shooting it, and it went very, very wide.
So Pinto backing. 2:15 to go. Both coaches saving those timeouts for the fourth quarter. Quite a few taken in that second. Pinto's looking front and wide this time was number 23, Frank Village. Plays on a lot on the man up. Had a goal against Smithtown West earlier this year. Now they crisscross from behind.
Yeah, they're using a 2-2-2 type setup here, and sometimes coming wide on the crease and sometimes tight.
Here's Kelly. Watched by Argentero's done a good job defensively for the sophomore, but Kelly got away from him there. Kelly did not come out. Plays the wing. Out of D'Angelo. Senatore's shot on Shoemaker, trying to control it. He's got that crease area well handled. Ooh, Ritchie hit hard from behind, and we're going to get a penalty.
Let's see if he calls it a pusher from the rear. 1 minute from the rear.
So number 20, Richie Tall, was the man who committed the penalty. And let's take another look at it.
See it come right up here on the clear, and that's a little more than a push-shove right there. So the referee ruled it 1 minute.
So Steve Ritchie took it right on the numbers and part of his head.
Needless penalty also, Barry, because, you know, there wasn't any kind of quick turn on that at all.
Well, Smithtown West man up 15%. We talked about Lindy's being poor at 18%. West only at 15%, but they've got a chance to take the lead here. Let's see what they can do. Rich Loria is 13. He's in on the man-up situation.
They're in a 1-3-2 right now. They'll probably cut somebody else down to a 1-4-1.
Here's Loria out at midfield to Heidi. They work it quickly to Federn. Back to Heidi. Loria will swing it to Sanchez. He's the guy that can cut from behind. They've got now Veit playing only one man back from behind. Let's see who they set up in the crease. John Godsell, 14 is
They
the
haven't changed, though, but now they're cutting into the crease and down the wing, trying to open it up for Heidi. They've run that play several times today, and Lindenhurst seems to be wise to it now.
Loria, Sanchez, looking for Godsell in that crease, but he's well covered by number 46 there, Dan Marr.
Changing the setup right now. Looks like they're going to a 1-4-1 here.
Now, meanwhile, time ticking away.
Be impatient, Barry. You want that one good shot.
Sanchez now from behind to Veit, who has a good shot.
Penalty's
nice
over.
look in front. Godsell was after it, but Locascio got a piece of it, and it'll stay in the hand.
One referee's calling that a shot, Barry. Could have been a deflection also in there.
Well, the penalty is overtime, as you say.
Right, that's the 8th extra man attempt so far, Barry. One of them, at least, has been 2-minute duration, and so far, no goals on it.
Nobody has scored on the man-up situations, and when that happens, you can really tell you have club struggling offensively.
Well, Smithtown West, without any wins, is hanging very tough, Barry, and right now they want to win this season. That would make their season and give them something to work for over the summer and next year.
Absolutely, and especially on the Long Island Sports Network, viewed by 450,000 or some odd homes on Long Island. They'd love it. Now Federn can't control it as
Nice
he
check.
loses it. Good check indeed on that far side, on the near side. And Lindenhurst gets possession. Number 31 on that check was Dennis Brody, 5'11" on 75-pound senior, and you see him come to the sideline. Long stick midfielder, played tight end on a JV football team. And we'll have a timeout taken right here by Frank Rossi. Well, Frank played at South Huntington before they called it Walt Whitman, so he went to school a long time ago there, but Frank's been here for some 19 years, and apparently that's the end of the quarter. So that's the story at the end of 3. We'll be back with our fourth quarter tied at 1-1. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barry Landers with Jerry McDougall, president of Apple Bank. You know, Jerry, you and I share something more than just this basketball. We share our concern and interest in Long Island youth.
No question about it, Barry. We at Apple Bank feel very much a part of the Long Island community. And as such, we want to show our support for these young people who are not only the future of Long Island, but we think the future of our country.
Apple Bank for Savings with 5 Long Island locations in Manhasset, Syosset, East Massapequa, Greenlawn, and Smithtown. Member FDIC.
The spirit lives on with pride in the past and footsteps to the future.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country.
In these young people, America is celebrating a spirit that has contributed to the character of our nation for more than 75 years. This year, the Boy Scouts of America will celebrate their Diamond Jubilee. Be part of Scouting, because America is returning to the values Boy Scouts never left.
We're back at Lindenhurst High School. Barry Landers and Tom Flatley as we begin the fourth quarter, Tom. And, well, Tom, they scored each team in the first quarter, and that's been it. We're tied at 1-1. Anything they can look for, obviously, a goal for either club right now would be like 3 or 4 for another team. What do you look for here?
Well, right now, Barry, Lindenhurst has been dominating. They really dominated the first 8 minutes of that period. Only that penalty gave Smithtown West some chances, and it's, you know, just a matter of time if they can take the face off and keep the pressure on.
Right.
They have to try to get a little better shots, Barry. There've been a good number of shots, but not many real tough saves by either goalie.
Now, Luceri won the face-off, and Heidi all over him, and we got a whistle stopping play.
Well, one ref is asking the other ref if he called possession right now, because one of the players from Lindenhurst came out of the box. Sort of looking at each other right now, figuring out what to do with this one.
Third period shots, Lindenhurst 9, Smithtown 3. And, of course, Lindenhurst has dominated as far as shots are concerned. In that first half, they outshot them quite a bit. Lindenhurst had 12 shots to Smithtown's 6. So far, the period, three-period totals 21-9.
Yeah, Barry, they decided that was a legal procedure on Lindenhurst there for coming out of the box before possession. It'll go to Smithtown West.
So West has possession, tied at 1-1, looking for their first win of the year. And we'll watch Heidi work one-on-one. One of the few times we've seen isolation, and Heidi's shot blocked, bounces high in the air.
He's got a nice hard shot, Barry, and uses his strength well, his hips backing in to get that shot off.
And here's Locasio coming out with it, Loco as they call him.
He might go all the way before this game's over.
Gets it upfield.
There's not been a pure 4-on-3 yet today, Barry. The classic fast break has not occurred today.
Well, neither club, they'd rather play half court or half field, just possession.
Well, I think they're running offensive and defensive midfields, Barry, and they change on the fly. Sometimes like you see more in college than you do in high school.
So Richie Tall, number 20, will hold it outside, now sends it back behind. This is Pinto, good move, and he scores!
It's a fine face touch, Barry. He's gotten away with that before today.
Tony Pinto with his 15th goal. Young man who's good with or without the ball, a headsy kid. Had 8 shots against Smithtown West the first time they played, didn't score, but he scores his 15th goal right here.
You see right here, the feed is set up from Kelly, and he gets the man rushing at him, thinking Pinto's going to take the hard outside shot. The man will come real hard at him off balance. Pinto fake it, pulls the stick, and goes by, and points it right off the goalie's knee.
Got him on the short side
Certainly
there, too. Did not have much room.
Don't know if he wanted to shoot there, but it went right off the goalie's knee and into the cage.
Well, Argentera was the young defenseman who moved towards Kelly, and it left the man open there. And Pinto took advantage of the opportunity. So Lindenhurst at the 56-second mark on Tony Pinto's goal takes a 2-1 lead. Now this is Kelly. Lindenhurst trying to win their second straight game. They won 4-1 against Brentwood last time out. Locasio starring in that game with 17 saves. Now as a defender falls down, he gets back up, and the shot is blocked, as it was John Godsell who blocked the shot after falling down. Possession remains in the Bulldog hands. Now we'll have substitutions as Smithtown West sends in Richie Mastalone, and also checking in number 21 defensively.
Well, it won't be very exciting, Barry, but Lindenhurst can hold the ball all game against this zone because they don't put much pressure on you. They can hold it for 3 minutes just looking for that one select shot. They're in a 1-4-1 right now. Nice look to the crease. That should have been handled. A push after the ball was loose, I believe. Calling it. He got him for the cross check.
Well,
got him for the cross check.
Well, it's not the kind of penalties when you're down a man. Kevin Murphy, 22, is the man who'll go off, or at least was penalized. Of course, as you know, in lacrosse, the penalized player does not have to serve the penalty in most circumstances.
No, but he has to leave the field. He doesn't have to sit in the box.
So now this is D'Angelo on the man up. Lindenhurst has been unable to cash in on numerous man up situations.
It went right to the 1-4 this time.
Now Kelly with the look.
Oh, he's open. Feed was a little behind him. Top man on the 1-4 was open on the crease.
Pressa, 99, could not get it. Pete Sessa, rather. And back comes Smithtown West. If they get it in the box, they will clear it.
Got a fast break, too.
Fast break. Oh, and they throw it away.
The penalty will be over, though, Barry. The good news is the penalty's over. The bad news is they threw it away on the fast break there.
One of the few transition opportunities for Smithtown West, and They might have been able, of course, to get a good shot off on Locascio and tie the game, but instead, 8 minutes remain here in the fourth quarter. Lindenhurst with the ball, and you look at the Empire State goalie. And speaking of the Empire State team coming up, Tom, how about tryouts for the current team this year?
Well, for the high school players, Barry, we urge only those to try out who are recommended by their coaches to make it easier. The coaches this year will be Walter Reese from Copeg High School, and Alan Lowe from Manhasset will be the assistant. Alan will be the head coach next year. The tryouts are shortly after school ends, after the Regents Week.
Of course, the Reese name synonymous with outstanding lacrosse here in Suffolk County.
You have Kenny, who coached for many years at Comsawag, and Walter, of course, at Copeg.
So now Lindenhurst with the ball as Pinto will play it along their side.
Can be very patient right now.
Nice to have some support here from the Lindenhurst
Looks like
fans.
they're missing a man. They're playing with 5 men out there.
The clock has been stopped here. Official time is being kept on the field. Now it's been started again. So there is a mistake, and the official time will be corrected, I'm sure, at the next time out.
That had to be a good 40 seconds. Nice shot.
Nice play from behind, and a look out in front. Oh, Hans Shoemaker got a piece of it. Quick stick there.
2 good opportunities. 3.
Here's the shot. Oh, and they couldn't stop Vinny D'Angelo with his blast, his 9th of the year from in close. Running back, quarterback in football, one of the 3 brothers, the D'Angelo brothers, who played predominantly righty, and he blasted that one. Very aggressive to the cage, and we saw it there as he had the opportunity and took advantage of it.
Barry, very good ball movement right there. Every time it was missed, it came right back, and Kelly's been doing this well all game. And this time he's wide open, catches it and cranks from about 5 yards.
So D'Angelo from in close, his 9th goal of the year. The time of that goal will be unofficial because they're trying to get the correct time right now. But it is 3-1. Lindenhurst with 2 fourth-quarter goals has broken it open here as they try to win their 7th game on the league overall and their 5th game in league play. They're 6-8 overall and 4-7 in league competition coming into this one today.
We'll keep their playoffs alive. Right now, Smithtown West won one of the few faceoffs, Barry, they've come up with, and right away called timeout.
So they're going to try to find out what the actual time remaining is. As you can see, the Lindenhurst players heading to the huddle as their club has taken a 3-1 lead. And we hope you've enjoyed the action here. Tom, we talked about the Empire State tryouts. What about the United States team tryouts? What's the story on that?
Well, on the Friday before the NCAA championships, I think it's March 24th, we'll meet in Providence, May 24th, we'll meet in Providence, and we'll invite 100 to 115 players from the club and college level to try out for the United States team. Those tryouts, Barry, will be the last 2 weekends in June at Rutgers. And if the people haven't had enough lacrosse after the regular season, they're invited down on Saturday nights where you'll see 3 good games every night.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. The New York State rankings, the latest are out, and let's take a look at them right here. West Jenny trying to regain the championship that's been theirs for so many years after losing to Yorktown last year. They're ranked number 1, Ward Melville, Yorktown, Garden City, and Farmingdale. And the rest of it, St. Anthony's, Hempstead, Jamesville, DeWitt, Whitman, and Fayetteville, Manalaus.
All right, well, we've already mentioned Hempstead's loss this week, Barry. That will change. You see 4 teams from 4 different sections, and a lot of people think those would be your semifinalists. But Farmingdale's right up there. Has not really been tested too much lately, and they're getting better and better.
Heidi will work here, trying to get the goal to get him back within 1. Heidi has it checked out of his stick, and back they come. Lindenhurst looking for the fast break. Marr, 46. Loose ball inside the box, and Argentero will pick it up, the sophomore. He has it checked away, but it's recovered by his teammate. Kevin Murphy going down.
It's a nice ride there by Kelly. Pressure forced him out of bounds.
So the turnover gives it over to Lindenhurst. As Tall, 20, will play it. He's going to the State University at Farmingdale, one of the few seniors on. Well, let's take another look at it here, Tom.
Right, you see it right there. He just loses his footing after the check by Kelly and slides out of bounds.
We're down to 6:13 to go here in the fourth quarter. That goal, D'Angelo, at the 3-minute mark to make it 3-1.
See if West stays in the zone, Barry, for the whole time. They might have to come out and put more pressure.
Kelly's shot stopped by Hans Shoemaker. And Argentero will try to clear it. They give him plenty of room here. Kelly now coming over to help ride.
And they haven't been able to clear well. They might get away with this one.
Pinto hacking away at it, 27.
They're offsides. If we're not, no, they're on. Pinto went over, and then he stayed back.
Back they come. Steiger, or rather Village, 23. And again, Frank Rossi decides to call timeout with 5:38 to go. His club leading by 2. Well, the Lindenhurst strengths this year certainly have been on defense and on goal. Their offense impatient at time, and one of the things they've lacked is speed this year. And Tom, you see that more and more. Lacrosse, as in many sports, has become a game so geared to the speed of the athletes today.
It certainly is, Barry. The greatest asset a lacrosse player can have offensively is quickness. Second one, after his quickness, he's got, of course, be able to handle the stick. Those two go hand in hand.
Let's join John Veit.
Look, if you can't see anything, don't leave me too far. Nick will take it up. All right, hey, guys, come back there in the left again. Let's come on, let's hustle. Come on, let's go.
He's talking to his goalie there a little bit about it on the outlet passes to take the fast break if they had it, but, you know, if it's not there, not to do it.
Take another look at the last goal scored by Lindenhurst here.
That's a fine look. He's wide open, Barry. He took his time, which is good presence of mind by D'Angelo there to know that he had the time to aim it.
Well, D'Angelo, an experienced player, coming up with a goal. Although he's only a sophomore, he's had plenty of lacrosse background, and he's going to be a guy that for a long time is going to be sparking this Lindenhurst club. He's got 2 more years to go, and as we said, comes from a great family of athletes. His other brothers, Tommy is at Georgia Tech now, and his brother Joe's playing football at Columbia. So they're good students as well as good athletes.
And a good size, too. He's very powerful for a sophomore.
So Lindenhurst with the ball here, looking to set up. What do they have, a stack set up?
Well, they're not in a hurry right now. They're in a 1-4-1 with a tandem inside, side by side. It looks like they might try to draw him out of the zone. Backer's getting a little nervous right now. See if the referees will let him get away with this also before they give a stall warning. As long as you're looking into the crease, they shouldn't warn you for stalling.
5:08 to go. Of course, it's the judgment of the officials.
As West comes out to put more pressure on, that stretches the zone, Barry, and makes it easier to find the seams inside on the crease.
Argentera against Kelly. Kelly much quicker than Argentera. Really, we talked about speed. Your defensemen have to be so much quicker now.
You don't have too many lumbering oafs anymore, Barry. That couple, but not many. You can afford one maybe on each unit of 3. The referees just gave the stall warning. Barry told them to get it in the box, and now they have to keep it in.
First, they lead by 2 goals with 4.5 minutes to go. Kelly, look out in front, thrown away.
That's it. The whistle blows. Now it'll go right to Smithtown West.
Once that stall warning is issued and the ball leaves the box, of course, it goes over to the other team.
That's right. Now, if you shoot it, Barry, and goes out of bounds, and you're the closest, it stays with you. But the referees gave them about a minute to check out their offensive pattern, and then they decided it was a stall. Now, some coaches would tell you it's a slow-down offense. It's a very fine line.
Have you practiced that, Tom?
No, we haven't. I know some teams do it. We've had to stall at the end of a game this time.
All right, let's watch Heidi. Checked by Pinto. Good effort by little Pinto as he knocked it away, but it's loose on the field, and we'll have another timeout as finally it was scooped up by John Williams, and Smithtown West, John Veit will talk it over.
Well, the coach wants to make sure that he's got his best 6 offensive people out there now with about 4 minutes to go, Barry, and he wants them to work for that, good shot and remind them who to look for and who to handle the ball.
Well, if you folks have enjoyed our lacrosse coverage or have some comments about what you'd like to see on the Long Island Sports Network, Cablevision's fine Long Island Sports Network, here's the address. You can send us a line, care of Cablevision, Media Crossways, Woodbury, New York, 11797. And we'd like to thank our sponsors throughout the year as we wind things down here in the Long Island Sports Network. Apple Bank for savings with 5 convenient locations in Nassau and Suffolk and Adelphi University. And they've been our sponsors helping bring you the athletic competition from Nassau and Suffolk throughout the year. Well, they've talked it over, and John Veit with his club needing some goals here. Time running out, 4:16 to go. They scored early in that first quarter and had the 1-0 lead, and they have been unable to score or even really come close. Locascio really has not been pressed in this game.
A couple of tough saves, most of them of the routine variety for him.
Here's Sanchez working behind.
Inverted the midfielders now. Lindenhurst has several long sticks out there, 5.
Nice look for Heidi in front. Locascio made the good save down low. One of his better saves on Heidi, who got a good look in front.
Comes up with a loose ball, too, Barry.
Look at Locascio. He can move. Look at the dodging ability from behind. He'll cheap clear it now. Williams will try to pick it off. Bats it down. Godsell 14 going for it. And loose finally picked up by Lindenhurst, and they'll calling a fast break. This is tall 20.
Well, the attackman didn't go down and set up, Barry. It looked like they were surprised. Nice effort by Kelly.
And look at Pinto. And he'll come back out. Timeout taken. So good hustling effort by Pinto. And looks like Lindenhurst in the driver's seat right now. 3:26 to go. Just before that, Locascio with one of his better saves as they got an opportunity from one of their better shooters, Heidi. And he stopped him. And finally they're able to clear it. That cheap clear was effective. And it's now Lindenhurst ball.
Well, Barry, they got the opportunity they wanted. That's why they called that timeout to get their high score with the shot.
Young man on crutches, you see, is Keith McAdam, who hurt his knee. A fine defenseman, and I know he'd like to be in the game. Here's a look at our upcoming schedule for you lacrosse fans. As we've been telling you, we've got dandies coming up to close out our lacrosse schedule. Nassau and Suffolk championships from Hofstra University at 6 and 8. That'll be on May the 28th, and then the Long Island Championship on May 31st. Those aren't the air times or the broadcast times, but those are the times and the dates that the games will be played in that Long Island Championship game at 8. What a game we had last year. Ward Melville going up in that great game against Manhasset.
That's right. Sudden death overtime. A fine defensive battle by both teams.
And, of course, we may be headed for another showdown of Ward Melville, maybe Smithtown East again. Sachem has been coming on.
Have a flag down, Barry. Keep it in the box and work for a good shot.
It's a delayed call against Smithtown West.
Probably something on the crease.
As they make a move toward the cage. Nice save by Hans Shoemaker. And let's give Hans Shoemaker credit. He has played a fine game in a losing effort so far, only giving up 3 goals.
He's seen a lot of rubber coming at him today, that's for sure. And he's probably going to see some more right now with Lindenhurst having a 32nd man advantage, I believe, on an interference call.
Well, he's a young man who's very inexperienced, really. I know that Lynchburg and Farmingdale, a couple of places he may be interested in trying to go to next year. He's one of the few seniors on this club, along with John Godsell.
Done a very good job in the cage, Barry. He's had a little problem, as we say, outside of the cage with his clearing. That will come with experience.
So a man-up situation for Lindenhurst. They'd like to get this man up scoring at least once today.
Cut to a 1-4-1.
Good look by Kelly, but
nice feed.
Lucerio D'Angelo, it was Luceri, I think, 8:38.
Yeah. Going to be a push, though, on Smithtown West after the ball was loose and give Lindenhurst possession again.
We're down to 2:45 to go. Don't forget, stay tuned for the Apple Bank Player of the Game coming up. And we'll have that coming up, as well as a chat with the winning coach. No hurry. Pinto will play it back out. D'Angelo. Hans Shoemaker coming up with, again, the save.
Good save.
And I believe interference called.
Yep. Check the goalie stick while he's in the crease right now without possession, so Smithtown West will have to clear the ball. Had the goalie had possession, it would be a free clear. The penalty man still in there, so Lindenhurst could put pressure on the right if they desire.
2:29 to go here in this fourth quarter. Lindenhurst leading Smithtown West 3-1. As we told you earlier, last time they played, it was a 3-2 game. Lindenhurst coming out on top, so very similar type game. Low scoring by both clubs, not many fast breaks. Man-up situations have been unable to be converted by either club. This is Argentera. Pressed there by Pinto. Now Hans Shoemaker with Kelly after him.
Pinto and Kelly are playing 2 against 3 and doing a good job of it.
And let's see, the call, did they go out of bounds? It's a little difficult to see the end line here.
Looks like he did. It's going to be Lindenhurst's ball. Still a man up.
They've done a good job on the goalie, Hans Shoemaker. As he goes out, he is not a Joe Locascio, or rather a Sal Locascio behind the cage.
Yeah, that's experience.
Yeah.
And, of course, Locascio's feet are quicker. Nice cut and a goal, Barry.
Beautiful goal. Pinto with the assist. And the goal scored by number 21, Rick Senator, the quarterback on the JV football team, who creates things. It's his 18th goal of the year, 5'9", sophomore. He'll be around, as we've said earlier.
It's a real fine play. You see ball come to the side in a 1-4-1 set, and the high man from the crease cuts down good and hard. He's wide open, and he's got the goalie at his mercy.
That same side that cost him earlier. So 3 goals here in the fourth quarter, rather. Have given Lindenhurst a 4-1 lead. 2:09 to go. And will have the face-off. Lindenhurst has dominated every face-off so far today. And Luceri with those powerful legs. This time, however, Smithtown West comes up with it. Williams on the far side, number 30.
And they got a draw out of that one, Barry. Then it's up to the wingmen to fight for the loose ball.
So here's Heidi. Godsell, 14. Sanchez working behind against Quagliarelli. Checked by Quagliarelli. And as they battle for it, loose in front, Godsell couldn't come up with it. Williams, number 30, has got it. Time running out, 1:20 to go, and Smithtown down 4-1. Heidi's shot. Nice play by Locasio. You gotta, not only does he make the save, he controls the ball so well.
That's
when
right.
He
He uses his 2.5 seconds, Barry, to look for the fast break and then gets out.
Of course, he was the Empire State goalie last year, so that tells you a little bit about the,
for
level of play.
For the Long Island side, anyway, who got to the finals, lost to the upstate team.
Now Lindenhurst will clear it. Nice move by Tall. This is Richie Tall into the box. To Kelly. 48 seconds to go. Kelly with that bandana.
Well, they can't lose it, so they may as well go for another goal, Barry.
Yeah, Lindenhurst will have won their second straight, and will have beaten Smithtown for the second time this year. Tall had lost control. He picks it back up. 30 seconds to go. D'Angelo, who got a big goal to help break it open here in the fourth quarter. He misses wide. Goals here in the fourth quarter. Tony Pinto at 55 seconds to make it a 2-1 game. Then it was D'Angelo at 3 minutes to make it 3-1, and Senator at 7:51 to make it 4-1. And a whistle stops play with 18 seconds
Another
left.
technical violation, Barry. Just playing with one hand off the stick against Lindenhurst or Wardoff, whichever he called over there. Smithtown West should probably cheap it down and just see if they can pick it up.
So John Veit Club will go to 0-13 in this frustrating year. I know John will be campaigning and lobbying a little bit to see if they can change the way things went this year with that power rating. Teams were moved up based on their performance, irrespective of their enrollments.
He's got some players, Barry. Almost all of them will be back next year, and he'll win a few games next year with these kids.
All right, 2 seconds, 1, and we're finished. So the Lindenhurst Bulldogs, for the second straight game, win by a score of 4-1, and they improve their record to 7-8, and now 5-7 in league play, and they still have hopes of a playoff spot here in Suffolk County. So as they mob Locasio, we'll be back with our Applebank Player of the Game and a chat with winning coach Frank Rossi right after this message. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
This may come as a surprise to you, but money does grow on trees. It grows faster at Applebank branches all over town, in high-interest CDs, money market accounts, free checking accounts that pay interest. For all you need to help your money grow and grow and grow, visit any full-service Applebank branch. Who says money doesn't grow on trees? Applebank for savings. We're good for you.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, where the advantages of a major university and a small college meet.
Back at Lindenhurst High School, Barry Landers, along with our Applebank Player of the Game, Sal Locasio. Sal, you weren't too busy today. I think you had 8 saves, but nevertheless, you came up with some big saves when you had to. Again, the ball game's 1-1 going to the fourth quarter. Both clubs struggling offensively. Your guys came up with the big goals, and it has to be a very satisfying win for the club, because now it's on to Huntington and a chance maybe at the playoffs.
Yeah, we have to take care of business against Huntington. We got to play. I think it's on Tuesday. If we win that game, we should be going to the playoffs. On today's game, a little bit nervous going into the game. The whole team was. It took our offense a little while to get going to the game. Came through in the fourth quarter and matter.
Sal, you're called Loco Jr. Your brother was, of course, a star here at Lindenhurst, now doing an outstanding job at Adelphi. How'd the nickname come about?
Well, my brother was called Loco. In Spanish, it meant crazy, so his friends used to call me Loco Jr. and sort of caught on with the guys.
Sal, you had a great thrill personally last year playing on the Empire State team. Of course, you'd like to get to the playoffs this year. How did last year rate as far as thrills for you?
Doing at the Empire State games, it was the greatest experience of my life. I got to meet a lot of new players out in Long Island, some great players. Got to play with some really great people. Had a great time. We went up there. Just a little disappointed we lost. We lost the gold medal game to Central New York or West Genesee. Wish we could play them again, though. Yeah.
All right. Sal Ocasio, our Apple Bank player of the game, and standing by my colleague Tom Flatley, he has Coach Frank Rossi.
Frank, congratulations. Good win.
Thank you very much. It was done the hard way.
Well, it certainly was. You had 37 shots or so, and their goalie, Dave Handshoemaker, did an outstanding job.
The kid kept him right in the game, and I think with all of the TV and the excitement around here that it generated today, we were very nervous. The kids were upset, and this is a very big game for us because on Tuesday, if we finish with Huntington, if we can get a win there, we have a very good shot at the playoffs. So there was a lot on the game, and I think the young kids responded very, very well, and it's a lot of pressure on a kid to play on a TV, and I think it makes them upset.
Well, it certainly does. Very enthusiastic crowd, and your kids were very enthusiastic. I think you have to be very pleased with the way your close defense played this afternoon.
That's the strength of our club. We've got two strong seniors, and we have a sophomore playing on a close defense, and of course backed up by Sal. He's just our quarterback out there, and really it's pretty easy to play defense out there because he directs the whole show, and he's the quarterback, and he's absolutely terrific.
Right. Frank, can you get into the playoffs with a losing record?
Well, we would end up, if we can beat Huntington on Tuesday, we would end up 6-7, and there is a strong possibility that we would still be in second place. So I would imagine that the powers to be would have to include us in the playoff picture in Suffolk County.
Frank, congratulations. Good luck on Tuesday, and thanks for being with us today.
And thank you for doing our job.
Pleasure.
All right, so Tom, that just about does it as Lindenhurst comes away with a 4-1 victory. And now their hopes rest on their performance against Huntington. This will wrap up our regular season lacrosse games. Of course, the clubs will begin playoffs next week. Good luck, Tom, to your Sewanaka club.
Thank you.
I have mixed feelings. I'd like to see you in those finals on one hand, and of course, I'd like to see you in the broadcast booth here. But
be some great lacrosse either way.
But we had an outstanding effort by Lindenhurst coming up in the fourth quarter with 3 goals. Should be some interesting developments. There always seems to be an upset as you head into the finals. Who would have figured Cinderella Freeport last year? And, of course, Sachem last year surprised a lot of people in Suffolk in the playoffs.
Well, even 2 years ago in Nassau, it was Fran McCall's Beth Page team was a surprise team. Harry Mormon's Freeport, as you mentioned, and the surprise in Suffolk. Somebody will give somebody a good run for their money.
All right, so that just about wraps it up. Once again, the final score here at Lindenhurst. The Bulldogs over the Blue Knights of Smithtown West, 4-1. For Tom Flatley and our entire crew, including statistician Gary DeMaro, this is Barry Landis wishing you a very pleasant good afternoon. Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network concludes the regular lacrosse season, and it's come to an end, of course, but hardy fans, take note, the playoffs are soon to begin. We'll bring you the Nassau and Suffolk County title games and the Long Island Championship. And for baseball fans, look for the American and National League Championships in Nassau County and the Southeast Regional of the New York State Tournament. We hope you'll be on hand as Cablevision brings you the best in high school sports coverage. Today's game has been brought to you by Apple Bank, we're good for you, and by Adelphi University, where real learning is an art. So long, everybody.
To hate homework until I discovered Extra Help on Cablevision. You see, Extra Help has teachers standing by ready to help me with a question I don't understand or when I need a last-minute refresher before a test. Between you and me, homework's not so bad when you got a little extra help. So if you have a homework problem, Extra Help is the solution.
Extra Help, Monday through Thursday at 5:30 on Cablevision Channel 20.
beautifully different. We're WCTO Smithtown, 94.3.
Nestled amid 4 wooded acres, you will find the cozy confines of the Fox Hollow Inn, conveniently located on Jericho Turnpike in Woodbury. The Fox Hollow Inn is pleased to present a sumptuous Mother's Day feast. Their gourmet cuisine will feature such favorites as baked seafood imperial au gratin, a tasty combination of lobster meat, scallops, and shrimp, and a delicate sauce. You can also choose from other fine entrees such as broiled twin lobster tails, roast stuffed leg of spring lamb, or sliced filet mignon. And the Fox Hollow will also be serving their famous holiday buffet beginning at 1 p.m. Choose from delicious seafood, tempting lamb, veal, chicken, and beef. The complete cost is $14.95 per person. So call the Fox Hollow Inn at WA1-1415. WA1-1415. Make the holiday a truly memorable dining occasion at the Fox Hollow Inn, conveniently located on Jericho Turnpike in Woodbury. They're also open every day for lunch and dinner. The Fox Hollow Inn.
Have you taken a walk down Main Street lately? Had any time to attend a town meeting? Have you heard about your community's newly appointed Citizens Advisory Board? Do you know what's happening at your library this month? About lectures and free classes, guest speakers, and exhibits? Do you know how your town teams are doing? You and your community newspaper share a common interest, the place you call home. Every week, your community newspaper reports the local news that affects you, and the news that makes you proud of your town. Every week, you can find out what's happening in your community, at town meetings and in your schools, local sales, business news, and politics. The comings and goings of your town. Your community newspaper enriches your life, reporting local issues and events that affect you. Subscribe to your community newspaper today and catch up on what's happening where you live.
Sponsored by the Long Island Community Newspaper Group, publishers of Graphic, Central Islip News, and Bayshore Sentinel. Call today for your subscription, 666-1900.
Go ahead and smile. We've got the music to smile with. 94.3 WCTO.